Hey guys, while researching a different story, I came across this news story about San Francisco Chinese businessman and rapper who was forced to apologize to Mayor London Bree about comments he made in a rap diss song. But should he have apologized? Let's look at the story and see what the fallout was from it.
For the first time, we're hearing from the San Francisco restaurant owner and rapper who's at the center of a controversy after releasing a music video criticizing Mayor London Breed. Under usual circumstances, a diss track wouldn't garner this much attention. But because of a mayoral re-election this fall and race, it shows how Asian Americans could make or break the upcoming election.
Okay, so it appears that the newscast is taking more of a political tone to this. Like, because there is a political race, it looks like he's entered the fray. Not sure if that should make a difference or not, in whether or not someone has a right to say something what they said. But let's keep listening.
In the course of 3 years, I had about seven, break-ins and vandalism. That was the tipping point. And I just decided, reach out to the city. Nobody is going to respond.
It was this series of frustrations which drove restaurateur and rapper Chino Yang to produce San Francisco Our Home. The song is part love letter.
San Francisco, that's my home. Let me put it in a song so you never get wrong. No matter what I'm in, this is place I love.
Okay, so I'm sorry guys, I gotta address the actual music. Actual music, man, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna give it a 4. But there was no hard feelings. It may translate different. There are a lot of reasons why it may not be. But what I can tell is that he's making a song so far about San Francisco, a place that he loves. That's his home, and people take a lot of pride in where they're from, where they live. So we gotta understand that. So let's see what else happens.
And part exasperation.
Atlanta breathe, you ain't nothing but a clown. When we really needed you, you would never be around.
The rap accuses Mayor London Breed of failing the city's small businesses, abandoning the city's Asian American community.
Now everybody, let me see your hands in the air. Now throw your two middle fingers out to the mayor.
But the critical tone upset some members of the black community.
I don't think you should ever call anybody a clown, but I do think you have the right, to express and seek regrets from your government. Look, he said his business and home were broken into 7 times in 3 years. So, they should be happy. The only thing he did was make a diss song. The tone of the song offended a lot of people, but I think you have the right to be offensive. I don't think it was outside the bounds of a political discussion. So he called her a clown. He put his middle finger up to her. Is it disrespectful? Yes. Is she the president of the United States? No. But even if she were, people would say that they should have the right to do that too. So I think that so far, I don't like the clown part. I'm not sure how much Mayor London Breed is responsible for crime, but she's not helpless. We'll talk more about that later. So let's see what the response was from the African American community.
Including the Reverend Amos Brown, president of the San Francisco chapter of the NAACP. Brown rushed to defend Breed and expressed his displeasure over the rap in this voicemail to Yang.
I ask you to repudiate that rap, and since you have not, and I've told the black community that you did not, the community will make a public statement.
Okay. So, look, I apologize for laughing. So first of all, he did not tell me that you did it. So when he said he told the black community, he didn't tell me. But I think a broader knowledge is, why has he entered the fray? My understanding that Dr. Amos is the president of the National Association of Colored People. There is nothing racist. London Breed could have been purple, and he would have felt the same way about London Breed. London Breed should not hide behind her race, right? She should be trying to unify the city of San Francisco. And this, whatever this guy is doing, is not doing that. Now, let's address the tone of this message. This comes off threatening. This message that Dr. Amos left comes off threatening. is not becoming of anyone of his supposed stature. So Dr. Amos, you shouldn't be leaving threatening voicemails for London Breed on her constituent's phone. London Breed is an adult, and she should have to respond to the concerns of her constituency, whether they're black, Chinese, or whatever. This phone call is out of order, and I feel it's important that other black people stand up when they see things like this happen and people say they're speaking for you. They are not speaking for you. The same way that we wouldn't let others speak for us. Just because he says he's speaking for you doesn't mean he is. And Miss Dr. Amos, you're not speaking for me. Because I think that people should have the right to address their concerns with their government. I think this gentleman has a right to take out his frustration of daily life in San Francisco on that. But we'll get back to this. So let's see what else concurred, what else happened.
Calling you out for the wrong that you did to the mayor. The mayor is not responsible for all the crime of this city.
Despite Yang issuing this apology shortly after.
So for the sake of my family.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second because I want to read all this stuff they have on the screen. So it says, a formal apology for spreading misinformation about our beloved Mayor London Breed. We will get back to this. Should the elected officials be held accountable for the crime and homelessness, in our city? So, number one, let's start this. I'm not sure where the misinformation came in. Everything he said was an opinion, right? He didn't say something like London Breed smoked. Lord forbid if he said London Breed smoked crack. Then that would be misinformation. But you calling her a clown, sir, and you saying she wouldn't be there if you needed her, that's based on your own experience, and that's your opinion. Was she there when they broke into your place 7 times? What did she personally do? What has she personally done to try to stop the amount of crime and violence in her city? Now, we're going to go to the second part of your question, because I think that hits on it. Should elected officials be held accountable for the crime and homeless in San Francisco? So London Breed is not directly responsible for crime. Homelessness directly responsible for making sure and addressing the homeless problem. Indirectly responsible for the safety of her citizens. So in that sense, yes, she should be held accountable for that.
And my loved ones, and my close friends, I like to openly and publicly make an apology.
Brown then held a press conference to pressure Yang to take down the video.
This young rapper said he needs to get his lessons and sit down and learn.
Brown declined to comment further when asked by ABC7. But this back and forth is an example of the political challenges Breed faces.
No, this back and forth exchange is not just an example of her political challenges. This is an example of extreme racial tension that they're bringing about here. So, Dr. Amos, this young man he got lessons to learn. You're going to teach him. He needs to learn better. Huh? That language, I thought that language was out with slavery, right? If a white person said that to me, I would think that was racist. Why is it not racist when you're saying it to Chino Yang? Huh? Why is that not racist when you're saying it to Chino Yang? That is one of the most racist statements you could ever make to a black person. Like, you need to learn, boy. There's only one person needs to learn here, Dr. Amos, and that appears to be you. This rhetoric and this language is inappropriate. It is inappropriate and it's threatening. And I don't care if you're the NAACP leader or you're the KKK leader, this language should end you up in court. This language should get you charged with making threats. That with the voicemail, for an average person, if someone left these same messages, the same tenor of these messages for London Breed, I'm fairly certain that the San Francisco Police Department will be at their house the next day. Okay, so I think we shouldn't mince words here. If you make everything racial, I'm happy they're saying it's political, but really it's racial. You're making a racial statement out of something that everyone is experiencing, and whether or not you believe London Breed is responsible for what everyone is experiencing, if she, like they say, if you are not helping the problem, you are hurting the problem, right? So, I'm not a big fan of these type of things, but in this case, if she's an elected official, she has a lot of indirect influence on policies, whether if it's just administrative and financial. If she's responsible for putting together the budget for the city and county of San Francisco, then and that budget impacts the police department, the San Francisco Police Department, then she does have some control or authority over the San Francisco Police Department, even if it's just administrative and financial and policy-wise. She may not be in charge of managing the police department, but she is in charge of some of those things, and therefore she does have some responsibility in this thing. Secondly, she has responsibility to her citizenry that they're safe, that they feel safe in their homes, that they feel safe in their businesses, that they feel safe in their everyday life. That is your responsibility to the taxpayer. We'll get back to Dr. Amos, but let's see what else is going on.
As she tries to win a second full term, her supporters in the Black community say she's unfairly blamed.
Please do not call out our mayor again.
AAPI community leaders frustrated.
I'm sorry for stopping it there. When we get back to the APIA community, I want to know what they got to say. But just because someone is black doesn't mean she's yours, right? She's also his. Does he have a right? Does Mr. Chino Yang have the right to call out his mayor? Because when she was elected mayor, she wasn't elected mayor for just the black people. But even if she was, right, there's something she should be doing here. We're going to get back to that in a second.
By property crimes and attacks targeting elderly Asian residents have become increasingly critical.
Of course it's political. Everything's political.
Breed is competing with several challengers for support of San Francisco's Asian American community. Her political future depends on whether she can earn it.
It's an election season, and Mayor London Breed is up for a really tough re-election drive. And the concerns raised in the video are legitimate ones. It's about crime, it's about the streets, and it's about whether or not the mayor is doing her job.
ABC 7 News insider Phil Mateer says in a city where Asian Americans make up a third of the population, recent races have proven how important the Asian vote is, especially among the young and conservatives in the political landscape.
We saw it in the school board elections and recall. They were a primary force behind that. In the recall of progressive district attorney Chesa Bodine, who they felt weren't doing enough about crimes aimed at Asian American, especially the elderly. It's long been said that you can't get elected only on the Asian vote in San Francisco, but you can't get elected without it.
Here's the thing we should all consider. First, I'm going to address two things. They've chosen to speak about this as a political issue, but this is actually an issue with the job she's doing. This isn't Democrat versus Republican. This isn't, there's some policy questions here as well, but this is about the job that the city is doing to address the safety concerns of their citizenry. And the video seems like, I looked all over for this video, so he must have took it down, but in his music video, it appears to show actual news clips of the types of things that are happening in San Francisco. And that, number one, should not be minimized. So every person should have a right to say, hey, look, this is what's going on. I don't feel safe. My family doesn't feel safe. And I love San Francisco. And I want to be here. And I want to be, this is my home. I want it to be better. And I think London Breed should have been trying to partner with him to try to address some of the concerns that he had and his community has about life in San Francisco. But to say that this is typically just a political argument. This isn't one politician trying to get rid of another politician. This is about the true issues of what is going on in San Francisco. Now let's return to Dr. Amos. Okay, I'm not leaving this video until I repudiate Dr. Amos. Dr. Amos, your behavior is totally disrespectful. I do not believe that you should be treating this gentleman this way for political purposes. You're supposed to be looking for the care of what's best for colored people. And if someone has the ability to silence political dissent, this is not even political dissent, then the people who are normally affected by that are minorities. And you should know that. But your language is unbecoming. And he may have called her a clown. I'm going to call you the Joker. Because you obviously don't understand that you have said, oh, you did this, and your behavior was worse than what the gentleman did. Do not presume to speak for black people. And black people, the black people of California, the black people of the Bay Area, the black people of America, if you find this video disturbing, speak out. Speak out. Do not let people continue to speak for you for the things that really affect the daily life. I believe that this gentleman, Mr. Yang, and his family has the right to feel safe in their home and in their business. Dr. Amos, if you want to effectuate positive change in your community, why don't you do something about the people who are terrorizing the Asian American community? Think about it. You think about it. So not only are you attacking a man for wanting the safety of his family, but you're attacking him as a leader of black people when it's black people terrorizing his family and then threatening him, sending these, I would say, quasi threats that black people are going to hurt him. And then he has to produce this, apology video. And no one should have to do that. No one should be having to apologize to a racial group based on fear. You, sir, do not represent me. You need to go away. This type of politics is no longer needed in America. I don't need you speaking for me. And I'm pretty sure there are quite a few black San Franciscans who do not need you speaking for them either. So please do not do that. And Mr. Young and any other black people who can hear me and see this video, please comment down below and show your support for the Chinese American community and for Mr. Yang. They have a right to be safe. And the fact that our leaders, our educated, decorated leaders are standing up for London Breed based on nothing really, while not addressing the problem of crime. Address the problem of crime. If you're a community leader, which community is committing the effing crime? Excuse my language. Which community, dog, is committing the crime? Who is committing the crime against Asian people? Who broke into what community did that? Take responsibility for your community. You want to lead your community? You need to help lower crime. You need to get those kids off the streets. You need to effectuate actual change in the black community instead of terrorizing Chinese people. Look, I could be wrong. You may think I'm wrong. Some people may think I'm wrong. That's fine. We're here to discuss this. But I think black community leaders should be doing those things. They should be reaching out to try to figure out how we can lower crime. How can we stop the property crime? How can we stop the break-ins? How can we do neighborhood watch? How can we help protect local businesses? How can we protect local stores to keep them in our community? How can we protect Targets and keep them from closing? Safeways and keep them from closing? How can we protect the communities in which we live? How do we do that? Instead of threatening people who say it's no longer safe. Instead of threatening people who stand up for themselves and their family. Shameful, shameful, shameful. You have neither advanced colored people or made a proud person of any black person. No one's proud of his behavior, Dr. Amos. Anyway, Sorry to get so emotional about this topic, but it's just one that's very close to my heart. Mr. Yang and his family, I hope you all are safe and that your business is prosperous in 2024. Let me know what you think. Like this video, share this video, comment. Let's get a discussion going. I'm not NPR, so my comments will be open. All right, until next time.